Dr. Rajiv Iyer here, and I welcome you all to today's Saturday live session. I know many of you have so many questions, so I'll be glad to answer many of those. Now, I also want to welcome those of you who are going to watch the streaming later. So, basically, what I wanted to touch base is, more importantly, the residency session has already started. The NRMP application in the US, CORMS application in Canada is going to start pretty soon. I know many of you are working really hard to enhance your application. I think there are common mistakes people have been doing as we talk to more and more people. So I just wanted to mention a few of those. In the meanwhile, do you want to give an introduction of the wheel spin we will do?
Hi guys. So we're gonna be doing the same thing that we usually do. So my dad is gonna be answering questions, and later we're gonna do a wheel spin to win a free coaching session. And we're gonna tell you 5 minutes before so you can put your name in the chat. And then I'm gonna add them to the wheel while my dad's answering questions, and you can be the lucky winner.
Fantastic. All right, cool. All right, the things I wanted to mention is there are three important things as we see is essential for your residency application. So one is you need to have a really nicely made CV or the elements of a CV because essentially the CV is going to be copied and pasted onto the electronic application. The other thing we need is a really nice personal statement. So one of the things I've been seeing consistently is the personal statement has two major problems. So one is people are making it very generic, like not specifying your journey, but rather keeping it very, very specific and using high tech words that nobody can understand or nobody can use it in a normal speaking language. So, I highly encourage don't you do that. Speak to your heart, be genuine. I think these actually is what program directors like. And the other common problem I've been seeing is ChatGPT has been used extensively, and I think it's a problem. Sure, I understand ChatGPT does a nice job, but the problem is it is going to write the exact statement for everyone. Now I've been reviewing personal statements. I can clearly say within a few seconds it's done by ChatGPT because it is so generic and it is not specific to your situation. So these are the two big things I encourage you. And the third thing is about the letter of recommendations. Sure, many of you are stressed about having letter of recommendation from the US, from Canada. But if you don't have these, you do use your letter of recommendations from your home country. Do not leave the section blank. That is going to be a huge problem. All right. Okay, with that, let's take a few questions and let's see who has joined the chat. I thank you for joining. So Dr. Bhargav says good morning. Good morning, Dr. Bhargav. And Siri says hi, sir. Hi, Siri. And Christian says hi, everyone. Sure. Hi, and thanks for joining. Let's see the question. Now, Dr. Neeraj says greetings. What are your thoughts on the current NHS work culture in the UK? Is it recommended to go there under the MTI route post MD anesthesia from India? This is a fairly broad and a very complex question to answer. See, in terms of work life culture, of course, I have not worked in the UK, that is a disclaimer, but I have talked to many people from the UK. It looks like they're all doing fine. The biggest problem the UK has, one is of course getting into is quite competitive and they don't have a structured, streamlined residency process, but their training, having said that, is very good. Now the other big problems the IMGs are having is the pay in the UK is the least compared to most other developed countries. So when we talk to folks from UK who are now thinking of moving to the US and Canada, they want to do that because their growth is not happening in the UK or they are really frustrated with the pay they're receiving, especially after seeing the pay in the other countries. Now, in your situation, I would say if you're unable to find anything and if you're really interested in the UK, I would say it's a great first step. And you can see if you like it, you would continue there. Or if you feel frustrated, then you can always make the move to a different country. However, recognize that if you decide to move from the UK to the to US or Canada, the pathway can be very similar to your training from India, meaning the approach is exactly the same. The only exception is if you have a CCT or a Caesar from the UK, then things might be a lot different. For that, you would be spending somewhere between 5 to 10 years or so. All right. Oh, by the way, I also want to tell you if you want to join me live to ask questions, then I'm going to post a link here using which you can use any device to join live and then ask questions. But remember, if you join live, you're actually online and your audio and video would be streamed everywhere because you're obviously live on social media. All right, getting back to our questions. Dr. Wandi says, hi, sir. Hi, Dr. Wandi. Oh, all right. I'm getting a call. Let's see. Looks like Dr. Midun is joining us. Hi, Dr. Midun. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine. I'm Dr. Mithun from Kerala, from in India.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a pediatrician, and I would like to do a neonatology fellowship from Canada. For that, I have sent to regarding the process to one of the program coordinators uh, in one of the university in
Okay.
Calgary.
Okay.
So they send me back the email that the things needed. It need you already told about 3 letter of recommendation
Mm-hmm.
and one an updated CV. And with what exactly you say, what is my interest in going there and learning that program? So they need that covering letter
Mm-hmm.
and some that IEL test or OET
Correct.
and their registration. That Medical Council of Canada, I have to register. They're telling.
Okay.
So the my doubt is it possible to get there easily even if we meet all the criterias and we will send all the things?
See, I cannot say you can, or anyone for that matter, can get things easily. I mean, they're competitive. Again, the things they're looking for is a strong applicant. You're absolutely
Yeah,
right. You submitted your CV, you sent your, or you asked your referees to send your letter of recommendation.
yeah,
Now,
yeah.
cover letter is a very important part of this. So, when you write your cover letter, the way you would describe is you would tell your background and you would say, again, don't use ChatGPT for this, but you
No.
would speak your heart. You would tell what is your strengths, what is your training background, why are you, why should the hospital give you a fellowship? If they give you a fellowship, what are you intending to learn? And then what do you gain out of this? So that would actually help you do a fellowship. And what is your goal? Like, what do you want to do after you do your fellowship? Now, these are
Okay.
some of the things you would include in a cover letter. And when we
Okay.
draft cover letters for our IMGs, what we do is we create a 2-page cover letter highlighting all these
Okay.
experiences, and you would submit this. Yes, you do need an English proficiency test. It could be either
Okay.
IELTS, some people, very rarely people take CELPIP, OET, TOEFL. So whatever you're comfortable is fine. But if you ask me if there is a choice, I would personally do OET because OET can then be used for US, Australia as well. I mean, so
Yeah,
does the
because
other
it has
exams.
2 years validity, so that will be helpful.
Correct. Yeah, they have 2 years validity. And once you secure a job is when you go through the process of obtaining a license. And this is true not only for you, for anyone listening to this. So the first thing is an application, then you get interviewed, then you get selected, then you go through the process of applying for a licensure.
Uh, So, like for getting an IMG, is the experience in India is necessary? Like this much experience you needed from your home country, or a fresher can also apply? That is my query.
Yeah, fresher can apply too. See, here's the thing they're looking at. See, if I'm the program director, okay,
Okay.
I'm a neonatology program director. The things I'm looking for is, so one is your training. How long ago
Yeah.
you finished your training? Now you could be a fresh trainee, you could be an experienced trainee. But I'm going to see what
Okay.
are the things you have done in your CV in terms of over and beyond
Okay.
what a normal resident would do, number one. And number two,
Okay.
how clearly you spell it, or rather, you speak yourself on your cover letter. So these are the two things. Sure, an experience always adds to the advantage, but these are some of the things that you would see whether you're a fresh graduate, whether you're in your final year of training, or you worked for the last 3 or 5 years.
Okay. Because I thought for a fresher it's very difficult. You need experience to apply this.
Well, it is difficult for everyone. The nature of difficulty can vary between candidates. Because, see,
Okay.
remember, there are very limited spots. Now, you're competing with a lot of local graduates who are applying. Of course, if a
Okay.
local graduate apply, the preference is always for local graduates,
Okay.
unless they find an IMG who is outstanding. The second thing is
Okay.
you're also competing against a lot of IMGs. And for the
Okay.
purpose of Canada, an IMG is anyone who's trained outside Canada or the US. So it's basically the
Okay.
whole world. So there could be
Yeah.
candidates from Europe, there could be candidates from Africa, South America, Australia. You can imagine from everywhere. So the
Yeah.
competition, irrespective of what your background is going to be intense. But the
Okay.
way you project yourself as an excellent candidate is through your cover
Yeah.
letter, your CV, and how you communicate with the program.
Yes. So I think your organization are making cover letter and proper CV for the candidates.
We do help with cover letters and CVs. That's correct.
So how we can approach you, or how we can get
So
into
you
that?
can you can go to our website
Okay.
imgsecrets.com, and if you click on let's say book an appointment, all the details and everything would be on there. But if you have any questions, then you can always reach out to my team at the email contact us at imgsecrets.com.
Okay. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. Good luck with everything.
Thanks.
All right. Next one says, "Hello, sir. A pleasure to hear you live, and thank you. It's my pleasure to talking to you all, and it's just so nice talking to so many of you. And also, when people tell me that they followed my videos, they applied to something, and they now actually have an interview, they get successful. It feels really good that actually it is making a difference to you all. All right. So the next one says, this is Dr. Bamik Hefa. I'm sorry if I didn't say it right. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon. Next question is Dr. Sarkar says, can you tell me how much cost physician assistant program in the USA? It's a fairly expensive course. I do have to take a look at the exact numbers as to how much they are. I don't remember at the top of my head. Um, so when we answer those questions, my team dives deeper, looks at a few things and then comes up with the numbers, and that is how we share the numbers. All right. So there is a call coming. Looks like this is Dr. Lamia. Did I get it right? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, Dr. Lamia?
Yes, I can you I don't think you can see me.
I cannot. You're right. What I see is a black screen, but I can
Uh
hear you.
I think you can
Now I
see
can
me
see you.
now. Hello, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Yes.
Good, I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Yes, thank you for this live and thank you for the videos. You have actually given me a lot of hope in actually becoming a physician in this country. I'm from North Africa
Okay.
I was a general practitioner. I graduated in 2022, so I'm a fresh graduate, and I currently live in Quebec, in Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm preparing for the MCCQ E1,
Mm-hmm.
and my, the problem I'm finding is finding observerships because whenever I contact a hospital, they always like we don't offer observership for IMGs. I did contact the UHN hospital in like you suggested in your video,
Mm-hmm.
and but it's a little far for me to go to Toronto.
Okay.
So I was wondering how I can find like observership here in Quebec.
Well, yeah, first of all, I agree with you. It's extremely difficult to find observerships, and especially if the hospital knows that this is an IMG trying to get an observership in the context of applying for a training program in Canada or the USA, it becomes even more difficult. And the way you would approach this is you would actually, if you, I mean, well, first of all, it's really hard to say that if you just focus on Quebec, something is going to get pulled through. You do have to be flexible, and I understand it's extremely painful to be, but you do have to be sometimes flexible. Now there are two ways. So one is if you can find a specific observership opportunity on their website, you can proceed with that. And even with that, remember, just because you apply doesn't mean that they're going to give you an observership. They're actually looking at a very strong letter that clearly specifies what is your intent of doing observerships. And many reputed programs actually like giving observerships to people who actually do not do any training programs in the US or Canada. And this is exactly contradicts to most people whom we talk to, because their goal is to do this observership to get that experience, get a letter of recommendation. So you have to very clearly specify in your letter of letter that you submit to the observership program to specify why exactly you need that. And the other thing you could also do is if you can find some internal contacts, then you can pull through them to help with finding observerships. For example, you could actually, I mean, sounds a bit strange, but you could actually physically go to one of the departments, not to the hospital side, but to the administrative side of the departments, and then you can speak with the administrative assistant there, telling them why you're interested. You can make some phone calls. You just have to be persistent. I mean, there is no magic into this. And if you have any internal contacts, then you can actually make it happen.
I have another question, if that's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm currently doing a lot of volunteering work. I was wondering, does that help with my CARMS application if I do volunteer work, or like work? And I also work in telemedicine as an assistant. I don't know if that also will help my application.
So, are you okay sharing where exactly you do your volunteer work?
I work in with the Canadian Red Cross
Okay.
and with Parkinson's Quebec.
Yeah.
It's called
Yeah.
Parkinson
So,
Quebec.
well, the point I'm asking is it something related to patients' healthcare or is it something completely different? But yes,
Yeah,
sounds like
it's related to healthcare.
sounds like it should help your application, and you would want to highlight how nicely you're involved in those activities. And certainly, that should help your application, and you can use connections from there to actually pull you through getting some observership. That's an option through your
Uh,
volunteer work.
for the observership, do we have to do the observership in like for I wanna do family medicine? Do I have to do the observership in family medicine, or can I do like in psychiatry? Because
Well,
I did find an opportunity in a psychiatric hospital, but I was like, I don't know if that's gonna help me too much into family medicine.
ideally, you should stick to the specialty that you're interested in. But if you cannot find anything, sure, that might be an option.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
because
you very much.
when the program director is assessing your application or anyone's application for that matter, they are seeing the history of how closely you're involved with those particular specialties. Okay?
And for I'm sorry, I have too many questions. And for the research, do we have to like have some research experience and publish some papers, like research papers? Because I don't have any research experience, but I've heard that I should start publishing some articles.
You mean for your current application?
Yes.
See, publishing articles is going to be a fantastic addition to your CV, but that is something that is going to take a lot of time and effort. You cannot have this in the next week or so. But sure, for anyone listening to this or preparing their CV, having publications, I would say, is going to, I mean, in decent journals, not in any journal that publishes any crap you put out, but in decent journals is significantly going to add to your CV.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Sure. Good
Have a
luck with
good day.
everything. You too.
Thanks.
Take
Bye.
care. All right. Where were we with the questions? I missed a call from someone as I was talking to Dr. Lamia. So feel free to call me back if you really want to connect. Dr. Bami Kefa asks, is there any support for IMG who gets offered clinical fellowship in Canada to settle down? What support are you referring to? You just have to be a little more explicit about support can mean a lot of different things about your question. All right. The next question says, can I apply for express entry during my last year in medical school without 1 year of experience? So this is an immigration related question that is better answered by an immigration consultant. Actually, where is your medical school? Is it in your home country? Then I don't believe so. But if you're referring to Canadian experience class, that is based on your experience of working as a paid person in Canada, not as a student, at least to my knowledge, as a non immigration consultant. So we have Dr. Bargo.
Hello. Good morning, sir. I am Dr. Bhargav Patel from India, and I am currently doing my residency in anesthesiology from Gujarat. So I am thinking about to further my career in USA or Canada,
Okay,
but I am thinking more about USA, and I am looking forward to that 2 year training program like Tennessee State and any other state.
okay.
So, is it my decision is good about that 2 year training program because I'm eligible and I have done my thesis submission and I'm currently doing my paper publication in journal and thinking more about more publication
Okay.
and I did my ACLS BLS training AHA guideline.
Mm-hmm. So the first thing you need is USMLE
Yeah,
for the US.
I'm currently preparing for USMLE Step 1.
Okay. So once you finish USMLA, sure you can explore the new Tennessee rule. Again, the Tennessee board is actually saying this new law is actually good for 6 months until end of December, based on whatever they have posted on their website. But it looks like there would be some changes starting January of 2025. We're still not sure what's going to happen with that, but we'll keep posting as we hear and more about that. But bottom line is, once you finish USML, you could focus on anything else, but your primary focus, I think, should be residency, like PG training again in
Okay,
USA.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
And what about Canada? Because I don't want to repeat my residency. So,
Um, See, I completely understand that. It's extremely painful to repeat residency all over again, and I feel that pain. But for most candidates, unless you can prove yourself as someone outstanding with a lot of
Hmm.
academic activities on your CV, it is extremely difficult to sell your application to say that, give me directly a consultant job where without repeating residency. You could apply
Okay.
for fellowships, that is fine, but in order to keep your expectations clear, in
Hmm.
your case, you may want to always have residency as a backup option.
Okay. Okay. And after doing a fellowship, we can do as a consultant job.
That depends. That depends on usually two factors. So one is how fantastic of a candidate you are. And second is what is the job market at the time when you actually finish your fellowship and you're ready to apply. There are quite a few candidates who have been successful directly after fellowship to be a consultant, but for many of them, they had to go back to repeat residency because they couldn't prove that they do have
Okay.
significant accomplishments on their CV to satisfy that criteria. But given the present situation in the US, especially in anesthesia, there is an extensive shortage of anesthesiologists in the USA right now. And there are quite a few people who are getting lucky to find positions because of, the shortage is quite extensive. So
Okay.
it depends on all these factors.
Depends on situation. Okay. And my residency will end in July 2025. So after that, what situation will happen according to that?
Just like you, I also wish I can predict future, but I cannot say for sure. But given the
Okay.
current situation, I don't think the problem is going to get solved in the next few years. It is going to persist.
Okay.
What I think. I could be wrong, but that is what I think.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Sure. Good luck with everything.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Good day to you.
Bye. Take care.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
All right. So we have a question from, or rather, hi from Dr. Asha Xavier Javier. Hi. And Dr. Uddin says, good day, sir. Dr. Uddin, thanks for joining. All right, let's see. Interesting name, Siri. Do private hospitals accept an IMG with alternate pathway? I was told they prefer an IMG with USA residency. Is this true? What do you mean by private hospital? I need more explanations about that. In general, any hospital or program that has accredited training can accept an IMG through the alternate entry path. Now, that's the requirement from the American board. It doesn't matter private, public, whatever it is. All right. So, who is this? Dr. Sagar?
Yes, sir. Hi, sir.
Hi, how are you doing?
Sir, fine, sir. It's our videos are so much informative regarding IMGs to settle in abroad. It's
Thank,
nice information to all international medical graduates.
thank you.
Myself, as a sir, I did my residency in internal medicine. So I completed my residency in 2014. Since then, I am working in medical schools. So I came up to the cadre of professor.
Okay.
So I want to apply as a hospitalist fellowship in Canada. Can you guide us regarding how is like I did my residency since long back. Is a difficult part to get into the fellowship is
So, you completed your residency in 2014, right? So, it's been 10
yes,
years.
10
So,
years.
on paper, you're a professor of internal medicine and
Yes,
you want to do a fellowship. So when someone has been 10 years medical college, has been already an associate professor or a full professor, I think the biggest explanation they are looking for is now, let's say I'm the program director, okay, of the
yes,
hospitalist fellowship program. So my question is, you're already experienced, you've seen a lot of patients, and you say you're a professor of internal medicine, and now you want to come back to training. Why is that? So, your letter should convince the answer to that question as to why someone with that experience and with everything would have to go back to training, and why, and what is the purpose of training, and what are you going to do with that training. So this is how you would approach your cover letter, and this is true for every one of you hearing this. You think from a program director perspective as to
Yes.
what would entice them in order to take a particular candidate, and that is how I would approach this. Of course, you need a fantastic CV, like really professionally made. Then you would have a nice cover letter and an English proficiency test. Uh, that is pretty much what you need, and then you can apply and see what happens. If you need our
Yes.
help, you're always welcome to go to our website, and then we'll be glad to work with you.
Yes. So my second concern was I almost did 10 to 15 publications.
Hmm.
Is can I mention in my CV regarding all these publications, or I should only focus on whichever is good one? We can omit rest of things.
No, no, no. I would focus on all of those. Again, I have
Okay.
not seen your publications, but in general, I would say focus. I mean, highlight all of those unless there is a specific reason not to.
Okay.
One reason I can think of is, let's say, you're an internal medicine. You've done some weird publication in the last 2 years that is completely unrelated to your specialization. That
Okay.
might raise a red flag. So that might be something I might consider taking off. But for the most part, I would say include all the publications.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. All right. Take care. Good luck with everything.
Thank you.
So we have another caller here.
Hello, sir. I'm from Nepal. My name is Satindra Chaudhary, sir. I'm a fresh graduate. I studied in Bangladesh. I did my MBBS from Bangladesh with internship. And, sir, I want to continue my career in Canada, sir. How do you guide me to start my career in Canada, sir?
So hang on. So you have done MBBS.
Yes, sir. I have done MBBS from Canada, sir. Sir, sorry, sir. From Bangladesh, sir. From Bangladesh.
If you are on two devices, I ask you to mute the other one because there's a lot of echo.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So you've done MBBS,
Yes,
and
sir.
what are you doing right now?
Sir, I'm just preparing for Nepal Medical Council as I'm from Nepal, sir.
Okay. So well, your next step should be doing residency.
Sir, I want to continue my career in Canada, sir. How should I continue, sir? I have watched your videos. I have been following you on YouTube, and I have watched your videos on IMG Secrets. And sir, I have seen various pathways. I have chosen one, like you said, like I should be coming with some job, sir. But I don't have anyone, so that someone would find me job and I can get into job and get the PR, so that I can continue my residency and CCQE, and then with the calm, sir, with your help, if it is possible, sir.
See, with your background, I think again I'm having a lot of echo. I don't know. Muted the device. So turn off the other device if you're on two devices. I would say for now. Okay, I think that's better. Okay, so here's the thing. If see if with your background, getting a job in Canada is going to be extremely difficult. So what I would suggest is focus on doing residency. Okay, to do residency in Canada, you have to finish a lot of different steps. I would say with your background, instead of focusing on Canada, focus on the US, where the number of programs are much larger. Complete your USMLE, apply for residency in the US, and once you finish your residency in the US, you have the option of working either in the US or in Canada. And jumping to Canada after US residency is very straightforward. So that is what I would recommend you do.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for so much for your support, sir. But I have a question, like if I can get into some non-clinical job in Canada and I can restart my, I can go with Sir Calm, if it is possible, Sir Calm, sir.
See, here's the thing. To get a non-clinical job in Canada with your background, again, I haven't seen your full CV. I worry that it is going to be extremely difficult. Okay, so you have to have expectations in such a way that, I mean, Canada's job market is already completely saturated. There are a lot of people trying to apply for jobs. So what they're looking for is, first of all, it's hard to get a job staying from a home country. And even if someone gets a job, what they're looking for is someone who is really excelled in their specializations, even if it's a research job. So, with your background that you just mentioned, I don't see those things on your CV. So, for those reasons, I would say have realistic expectations and focus on finishing your exams and then proceeding with your next steps is what I think. This is my opinion. I mean, ultimately, what you want to do is up to you. But this is what I think would be the next best steps for you. Okay? Makes sense?
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right.
Yes,
Good.
sir, makes sense, sir. Makes a lot of sense, sir.
Sure. Okay.
Okay,
Great.
thank you, sir.
My pleasure. Take care. All right. Let's see. We have another call. So this is Dr. Is this Nizar?
Hello, Dr. Raju.
Hello. What's up? How are you doing?
Thank you very much. How are you, Doctor? Nice to meet you, first of all, and thank you for your support for all of us. I'm I'm an orthopedic surgeon.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So where are you an orthopedic surgeon? What country?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm an orthopedic surgeon from Jordan.
Okay.
I has medical degree and Jordanian and Arab board since 2022.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested in fellowship in orthopedic,
Mm-hmm.
mostly upper limb fellowship
Mm-hmm.
in one of the Commonwealth country.
Mm-hmm.
The purpose of fellowship, because I have, let's say, job for this. So I want to return back to my country after fellowship directly.
Okay. Are
Is
you
it difficult?
okay?
Is it difficult? And
So
I want to ask about the percentage of success to get at a stipend fellowship.
okay. So let me ask you: are you going to be a sponsored candidate, or are you coming on your own?
No, I'm coming on my own, and
Okay.
it's better for me. It will be stipend fellowship,
Okay.
like paid fellowship.
Is getting sponsorship an option
Getting sponsorship, it's
from
an
your?
option, but how can I get a sponsorship
Well,
therein?
see, here's the thing. So many countries in the Middle East do have sponsorship. I cannot remember if Jordan provides a sponsorship, but
No,
because your intention is to return back to your home country, okay, and you're pretty clear about that, if your hospital or if your government or anyone can support your application saying that, we're going to take care of this guy and give him a fellowship, of course, you have to pay Canadian people money, then the chance of getting a fellowship is significantly high, almost 100%. When we talk to people who come with a sponsor, basically who come with money to pay to the Canadian government or Canadian hospital, their chances are significantly high. But if that's not an option for you, if you're looking to get a fellowship on your own, it is going to be extremely competitive. Okay, it is not going to be easy. Again, you have to project yourself as an excellent candidate. Again, upper limb can be pretty tricky unless you're looking at hand. Even hand is getting extremely competitive, but One of those things. So you have to, number one, pick a fellowship that doesn't seem extremely competitive. Go with a strong application, which includes your CV, cover letter, and stuff like that. And when you mean Commonwealth, it sounds like you're pretty flexible in terms of what country you need to get to. Now, the country that takes fellows without any exams is actually Canada. In the US, the expectation is you do need USMLA. In Australia, the expectation is you do need an AMC. In the UK, you have to finish PLAB and then you have to go through as a registrar or a senior house officer or something like that. So these are your options that I can
And
see.
what about New Zealand?
What about who? New Zealand?
New Zealand.
Yeah, New Zealand is an option. So New Zealand has a specialist pathway, and one of our candidates in a very extremely competitive surgical specialty actually did get a job offer in New Zealand, and he's currently working on getting his licensure. Sure, that's an option too.
And okay, and can I ask what is, let's say, a percentage of success of such pathway, and is it paid
In what country?
in Canada or New Zealand?
See, in Canada, it's hard to put a numbers because the numbers keep varying every year. It's like putting a number on a stock market on a stock. Okay, so it just keeps varying because it depends on the number of applicants each year they are, and it depends on how strong your application is. So there are a lot of factors here. So basically, getting anywhere is going to be extremely difficult. But again, the common theme is how you would approach your application is what makes a difference.
Okay, thank you very
Yeah,
much, Dr. Raj.
sure. All right. Good luck. Take care. Nice talking to you.
Nice to meet you.
Of course, if you
Nice to
need
meet
our
you.
help, any of you, you can always reach out to us, booking an appointment, and we will see your CV and then help you prepare your application and things like that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, sure. Good luck. Take care.
Thank you.
Let's see. I think there are quite a few of you calling. I have to thank you all for calling and talking. This is great. And if you feel like I missed your call, you can always call back. Let's see. Dr. Hassan asks, "Hello, sir. What is more easier to match for IMGs in USA? You mean in terms of specializations? Actually, we did a video on what would be the most IMG friendly and not so much IMG friendly specialties. In general, I can say that more IMGs match into these specializations like pediatrics, internal medicine, pathology, and family medicine. I would say these are the things. The branches that are extremely competitive are some of the surgical branches like ENT, ophthalmology, radiology, anesthesia, and dermatology are extremely difficult to get in. All right, let's see. We have Dr. Sharma.
Hi, Dr. Rajiv.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm Dr. Rohan, and I just moved to US. I did my urology residency in India, and I just moved for a robotic fellowship of 2 years at Advent Health in Florida right now.
Okay.
And my plan is to stay in US for a long term, but I don't want to do the residency because it's 6 years of residency in US. So what should I do? How should I proceed further? My visa is H1B right now. So please guide me. Yeah.
So sounds like you can. Again, I haven't seen your CV and stuff like that, but does sound like you can
Yes.
explore direct consultant jobs in the US. Okay,
Okay.
and see what happens. And you can take that as your first step. And if things don't work, then you may have to think of getting back into residency as Plan B. But I would strongly encourage because you're already here in the US, so you can sort of start exploring some of the jobs that might help you with your next steps.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, and if you need our help, you're more than welcome to talk to us. We'll take a deeper dive into what's going on with your CV, and then help you with steps.
Yeah. In any case, is there in-person meeting with you in US, or you just do the online consultations?
So we just do online because yeah, we just do online
Yeah.
meetings.
Because yeah.
This
Okay.
would be like more of a one-on-one video call that
Okay.
do for those people who book an appointment. And we have a bunch of people on our list, and we do also have a neurologist on our team. And you're more
Okay. Great.
talk more to me, and guide you further about that.
So right now I'm doing a robotic fellowship. So maybe I'll get in touch with you and have a one-on-one talk, and let's see how it goes. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, sounds
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Have
Look
a
forward
great day.
to it.
Yeah.
Take care. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
All right. Let's see. Hey, what do you think of the wheel spin? You want to announce putting the names in before we take the next question from Dr. Nitish Agarwal? All right, here is a small announcement.
Okay, you guys can start putting your names in the chat, and then I'll add you to the wheel if you want to be a part of the giveaway for a free coaching session.
All right, so I hope that makes sense. So make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're still not subscribed, and then start putting your names in the chat. So she's going to collect all the names, and then she will do a wheel spin. And whoever comes in the wheel spin, we would have a free guidance session for you. I know many of you are looking forward to that. All right, so in the meanwhile, I'll continue taking questions. What do you think? Yeah. All right. So the next question is, what is the difference between a cover letter and a personal statement? Fantastic question. This is almost a topic for a video. So basically, a cover letter is something where I'm actually submitting a job application. So I'm from to, this is me, this is that, and stuff like that. And then I would end with my signature saying, I'm looking forward to talking to you, like that. So this is basically any letter. That is a cover letter. Now, when you think of personal statement, the personal statements typically does not begin with from and to, but rather it summarizes everything. And it kind of, there are a lot of elements that are similar, but the way it's formatted is quite different. So you would still highlight all your accomplishments and say why you need that particular position and what you're going to do and stuff like that. When you're thinking of residency, so the expectation is that you don't have much experience in your career, generally. So that's why you would write your personal statement as to why you got into medicine, why you need to get into this particular specialty. This could be medicine, surgery, anesthesia, radiology, whatever it is. So that is what you would say in a personal statement. But the cover letters are typically written by people who actually are applying for fellowships, consultant positions, with the expectation that they already have a lot of experience accumulated. I mean, you could still be a fresh graduate too, but that 3 or 4 or 5 years of your PG or residency is also a nice experience. So this is how you would put all that in your cover letter. I hope that makes sense. It's a bit hard to explain the differences, but bottom line is, there are a lot of similarities, but again, at the same time, these are pretty distinct. All right. The next question is, can I have 1 year of experience in paid work in Canada as a newly graduated non-specialist in order to apply for Express Entry? Well, see, the focus here seems to be more on the immigration side, but I would say the focus should be more on the career side, which in turn can get you an immigration. Now, can you have 1 year of experience as a paid work in Canada as a newly graduate? Sure, potentially yes. But it's about how you would find that position and how you would apply to that and how they can hire you and then sponsor you a visa so you can actually travel to Canada. Now, if all these lines in place, sure, you can. All right. So Dr. Asha says, as a physician working in India between Canada and US, which is an easier option to get into a clinical fellowship in the current scenario? None of them is easier, but US probably relatively easier than Canada only because of the larger number of programs that the US has. Canada is very limited. So for those reasons I would say the US, but none of them is going to be easy. All right. The next question from Dr. Hassan says, "Hello, sir. Which match has higher chance of matching in USA? Fellowship match after FCPS anesthesia or residency match after average step 2 score?" Um, it depends on how strong a candidate you are. I mean, I would say focus on residency. That is what I'm thinking without knowing much of your background, unless you turn out to be outstanding candidate with tons of publications, tons of academic activities. But in general, I would say residency. All right. The next question says, how soon can someone apply for PR after getting into Canada for clinical fellowship? Do you think writing IELTS general before coming to Canada will help for faster PR? The IELTS has nothing to do unless you time it accordingly. I mean, let me rephrase that. Just because you write IELTS doesn't mean you'll get PR faster. It's just a requirement to apply for PR, that's it. And after clinical fellowship, in my experience, it's been 1 year after which you can apply for a PR. Again, many regulations keep changing. Okay, so what I say today, Immigration Canada might decide to change it today evening or tomorrow and say something else. But what I say is based on the current knowledge I have. So do make sure you check the existing knowledge as well, or existing things that are published by Immigration Canada as well. All right, Dr. Uddin says, I'm done with my residency here in South India. I want to pursue a clinical structured fellowship in Canada. Will this give me a chance to settle as consultant in Canada or the US? I have no USMLA steps. Well, I think we already addressed this question, and this depends on two factors. Number one is on the candidate, number two is what the job market is. All right, the next question says, how can I get an observership in Quebec and how to get a letter of recommendation from Canadian physicians? I think we touched upon this with Dr. Lamia. Greetings, doctor. Hello. I would like to ask what options are there in Canada that would make the permanent residency application better and also provide higher chance to match into a medical residency, clinical fellowship, hands down. Helps with both. Dr. Agarwal says, I applied for some fellowship program at University of Toronto. Can I apply again the next year if I didn't get shortlisted? Is first chance the best chance? Unfortunately, yes, the first chance is always the best chance. You could apply it next year, but it is going to be extremely hard to sell your application the second time if you didn't get called the first time. See, when you submit an application, they actually would maintain all your names and they would clearly know that person had submitted his application last year and is coming back again this year. It's very unlikely it would pass the screening phase. Even if it does, let's say you get called for an interview, which is very unlikely, you will have to explain what differences you have compared to last year that actually making your application stronger. If you have an interview, you're in a pretty good spot. So that's why I always encourage all of you, whether you do it yourself, whether you take help with your applications, you have to go with a very strong application the very first time. Don't screw it up. If the first time is gone, then it's extremely difficult to go back. This is true for any country, any location. When I mean any country, US, Canada, Australia, UK, it is going to be hard to go back. All right. Let's see the next question. Tell me when we are ready to do the wheel spinny. All right. I recently cleared NEET PG in India and will start residency in radiology in next 2 months. Congratulations. But after completing the residency in India, I wanted to do fellowship in US. So should I give USMLE steps now? If the goal is to do a fellowship in the US, you need USMLE. You can give it any time and be ECFMG certified. That's fine. Even if you start planning today, I would think by the time you're ECFMG certified, you're looking at year and a half or so. And radiology right now is in a pretty good position. Radiology, just like anesthesiology, has a lot of shortages. So a lot of radiologists have been lucky finding positions. All right, Dr. Bhargav says, good morning, sir. I thought we talked about this with Dr. Bhargav, right? So let's move on to the next one. Dr. David, I would like to ask for any tips to get clinical or research experience in either US or Canada with strict budgets. See, basically, I'm not sure what type of clinical experience you're looking at. If you're looking for research experience, you're submitting without any money. You're sending emails. So I'm trying hard to figure out where is the strict budget part fitting in with your question. All right. Tell me whenever we are ready. Oh, we are ready. Okay, we're ready for the wheel spin, is what she's saying. Come on over. I will take another question in the meanwhile. I'm a fresh orthopedic FCPS surgeon. What will the best way to enter US and Canada or other European? Should I sit for USMLE and then apply for fellowship? What are the chances to enter this? I think we talked with Dr. Balu, didn't we? Anyway, I'll just say that for US fellowships, you do need USMLA. For Canadian fellowships, the expectation is you don't need any exams. All right. Is it possible? Oh, okay. Let's do the wheel spinny. Actually, today the wheel spin, I cannot open it on my computer because we are trying a new device here. So you will have to do it on your computer. You can bring it over here. You guys cannot see this, but she would have made sure to enter all the names in. And then she's going to do a spinny, and then we will say who the system got selected, right?
Yeah.
That can be kept there.
Can we like show you like that?
Yeah, that's fine.
No, I don't think we can.
Yeah, it's fine. You can do that. All right, the wheel spin is on, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's spinning. Let's see if we can show the spinny.
Okay.
All right, it's spinning. All right, the result is Robert Ishimawe. So, Robert, congratulations. I do look forward to speaking with you on a one-on-one call. So, the next steps for you, you can send an email to my team at contact us, CONTACTUS, contact us at imgsecrets.com, and they would work with you to schedule a meeting with me. I look forward to talking to you. All right, fantastic. Now, Doctor, the next question is Dr. Xavier, who says, is it possible for IMGs to get into interventional fellowships? Are there other branches which routinely IMGs get into? In general, interventional fellowships are difficult to get in, but again, we have seen candidates being successful even with interventional fellowships. I was recently talking to someone who actually is an IMG from India, has been successful in getting a interventional fellowship. So yes, possible, as long as the candidate comes with a strong background. Next question is from Dr. Yusuf, who says, how many publications minimum are necessary for a clinical fellowship application? There's not a minimum number. The more you have, the better it is, and also the quality speaks a lot. I will give you an example. If someone has 30 publication, let's say 30 publication in a journal called Cereus, Cereus. Now I've seen a lot of IMGs published in the journal that I had never heard of, in spite of having more than 150 publications myself. Anyway, so Cereus is let's say someone has 30 publications and someone has one in Nature or New England Journal of Medicine. So clearly the winner is the one in Nature or New England Journal of Medicine. So quality does matter, but quantity does matter, but quality matters most. All right. Dr. Pillai says, I'm Dr. Ashok, practicing hematologist and transplant physician in India. I'm now 45. Can I move to US as a consultant? I just cannot say that, comment on that without knowing your background. Because if I say anything, I would either be reducing your hopes or raising your hopes without knowing your background. In general, for outstanding candidates, the approach to be a consultant directly is to send your application to the hospitals directly, seeking a position for a consultant. It is not easy as it sounds because your cover letter should explicitly say, yeah, let's say you're trained from India, right? Yeah. In India or any country, your cover letter should explicitly say why, with your training from non US, they should give you a job. And you should be prepared to answer all the questions they have as a follow up as to why you would qualify, what pathway would you be eligible for. So there are a lot of nuances here. But bottom line, the first step is sending applications to the hospitals. Of course, if you need our help, you can always you're always welcome to come to us. But I couldn't say we can apply directly as a consultant unless I really take a deep dive into your CV and see what's going on. All right, Dr. Simran Kaur says, hello, sir. Hello, Dr. Simran. Does anyone want to join live? I've been talking a lot, so you're welcome to join live. And let me put the link again. So you're welcome to join live if you want to ask questions. All right, I think here we. Okay. Does Canada have paid fellowships? Yes, it does. When we got IMGs, we do guide them for fellowships that actually pay the IMGs. Does a lot of gap between graduation and getting into residency without practice become an issue? Yes, it does. So it is really critical to one is have a short duration between your residency application and your year of graduation. You know, people refer to this as YOG, year of graduation. So usually it becomes a big deal because if a program gets a lot of application and if the administrative staff have been told filter out all the applications that has an YOG of more than 5 years, it is very unlikely you would pass through the initial screening process. On top of that, if you do have a clinical gap, that's another significant thing that can affect you. Now the question is, how do you fix this? That is more important. You fix this by getting back into clinical practice as a duty doctor, resident medical officer, whatever it is, registrar, whatever it is, or by gaining research experience in the US or Canada, assuming you're at a stage where you can obtain them. So this is how you actually narrow the gap when you apply. So they know that even though the year of graduation is messed up, at least this candidate has other positive things that they can look into in the application. All right. So we're getting a call from Dr. Sabarish. Let's see what Dr. Sabarish has to say. All right, sir. Tell me. Can you hear me?
Hello. Hi, sir.
There is a lot of background noise from your side.
Hi, sir. Can you hear me?
I can, with a lot of background noise. Are you there? Okay. I'm going to take another call from Dr. Brahmadeep. In the meanwhile, while Dr. Sabrish is trying to see what's happening
Hello.
with the internet. Yes. Dr. Sabrish, hang on. I'll pick your call in a bit. Yeah, Dr. Brahmadeep, how are you doing? I cannot hear you.
Just wait for 1 second.
Okay, that's better. When you said wait for 1 second, that was better than right now. I just cannot hear you.
I have done my MD radio diagnosis from Chandigarh
Very,
Government Medical College,
okay,
and it has 5 years. I'm practicing in private sector
okay,
and running my own clinic from the past 2 years.
okay,
And I'm now preparing for USMLE.
okay.
Actually, I want to do fellowship in US, and side by side, I have been applying for Canada also from 2019. So it has been 5 years. So please guide me what should be the process, because now I am realizing that I should go for USMLE more than the Canadian pathway.
What are you applying in Canada for the last 5 years?
Fellowships.
Oh, okay. So you have applied to all universities in Canada for the last 5 years?
Yeah, I have not got positive response from few, but I was not interested in those fellowships
Can I ask why is that?
because these were of 1 year only, and actually these were of emergency radiology, which I don't want to pursue.
Oh, okay. See, in general, I would say any fellowship you get, you should just get into, be it in the US or Canada. The first step, getting through the door, is always important. But anyway, you've gone through that. Yeah, sure, you can do USMLE and apply for fellowships in the US. And we have had successful candidates in radiology. Recently, one of our candidates did get a fellowship in a very reputed program in Massachusetts. So things have been working positively so far for radiologists.
I have one more question. Should I do senior residency here and quit my private setup? Will that be helpful in fellowship, or it doesn't matter?
At this stage, I don't think that should be a huge difference. So if you do senior residency, will that give you, you're thinking because it can get you close to PGs, right? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
like,
I'm thinking that maybe experience of senior residency will count in that. Just a thought on that.
you mean senior residency at, let's say, PGI?
Let's say PJ or in a private setup, in a private hospital.
Um, Working in your own facility and a senior residency in a private setup may not make a huge difference. But
Okay.
if you work in a place that can actually pull you through one or two publications,
All
then
right.
that might actually add some value to your application.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
I also attended Bangalore online, and I was unable to connect to you that day.
Oh, I'm sorry for
So
that. Sorry for that.
I got it. Thank you so much. I will contact you through the proper channel on
Sure,
the next meeting.
sure.
Thank
Yeah.
you, sir.
Look forward to talking to you. And we did share the Bangalore recording, so you should have received that.
Yeah, I have received in an email, but I haven't got time to open that.
That's okay. That's okay.
Okay,
But
sir.
just
Okay,
saying
thank you.
that, we did share the whole session of
Yeah.
recording to all the
Okay.
people who attended or registered.
Yes,
Cool.
yes, sir. Yes,
All
sir.
right.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay,
My
okay.
pleasure. Nice talking to you. All right. I did miss a call. Feel free to call back. I think we might be up on the time, right? Maybe you think like few more questions? What do you guys think? Okay. All right. They're tracking the time. All right. So the next question was from Dr. Bami Kefa. So support in terms of accommodation at arrival before someone gets his or her own accommodation. No way. So I wish Canada did that. No. See, basically, if you get a clinical fellowship, you're on your own. So you would look for the accommodation. You would look for how to get there, how to get here. The hospital might share, not all of them. Some might share. These are the potential places where you can live, but beyond that, they're not responsible for your accommodation. It's on your own. Hello, sir. Hello, Dr. Frank. All right. Dr. Raji says, while applying for a fellowship program in Canada as a specialist in OBGYN, is it necessary to write MCCQ1 exam? No, you don't have to. What are the chances to practice as a specialist in Canada? Well, these are two different questions. The first step is a fellowship, and the subsequent steps depend on how you do with your fellowship, how the job market is. So, focus on the first step of getting into a fellowship. I just have 66% in my MBBS, so will it be okay for cons? They're not going to look at your MBBS scores. Okay, Frank says, I'm a GP and anesthesiologist from Germany. Okay. I'm 58 years old. How big are my chances to move to the USA and work as a consultant? So, you're trained in a hybrid model that actually does not exist in the USA. This model does exist in Canada. So it's difficult for me to comment on your situation, Frank, unless we take a deep dive. I have to see, are you mainly a GP or mainly an anesthesiologist? And what is a cross? What is a hybrid you have? So there is a lot of evaluation that we will have to do to make a determination of moving to the US and working as a consultant. I would say keep your options open for Canada as well, because with your German training, Canada might be more open without any exams. And as I said, they do have the option of a GP working as an anesthesiologist. And that model so far has not been established in the US. I don't think it is going to be, based on my knowledge. Hopefully that answers your question. All right. The next question says, what is the scope of MS OBGYN completed in 2023 in the USA? Will I get an opportunity through clinical fellowship being in a surgical field? So you say you completed OBGYN in the USA? I'm missing the question. Probably not, I think. If you did finish your OBGYN in the USA, of course you'll get a clinical fellowship. You're part of the system. All right. Is it difficult to get one of orthopedic fellowship positions without planning for further work in Canada? I'm finding it really hard to understand the question, but let me dissect this. Is it difficult to get one of orthopedic fellowship positions? See, when you apply for a fellowship, you're planning only for fellowships. You're not planning for further work in Canada on the application. In your mind, yes. So I would say focus on the fellowship application first. You don't have to explicitly state anything. As long as you know the pathways moving forward, that is good enough. Hopefully that answers your question. All right. Dr. Vignesh says, hello, sir. Hello, Dr. Vignesh. Thanks for joining. Dr. Ganesh says, I'm doing DM cardiology in Bangalore. What are my chances to alternate pathway or subspecialty in the USA? I have to tell you, one of our candidates has actually completed his internal medicine in India, cardiology from India. He's now working as an attending physician in one of the hospitals in the USA. Again, obviously, we won't disclose all the information because respecting privacy, potentially possible, but again, you have to come with a really strong application and find the place that is actually desperate of finding cardiologists. So if you are able to match these two, again, I don't mean to raise your hopes, giving you any false hopes. You have to be realistic, but given the strong application and the position, there is a possibility. All right. I graduated radiology from Kenya. I got the PR ruling letter from CPSC. Congratulations. After I applied for a job in Nova Scotia, three hospitals refused me while province was willing to license me. What can I do next? I'm really sorry to hear that. You're not the first person who's going through this problem of finding a position after being successful in PER. This is a pretty tough situation to be in. Well, you have to be persistent, and if you are able to find a fellowship in a different province, you can hopefully use that experience, get back into Nova Scotia, assuming that's an option for you, or you can all the way open all your options in the US by doing USMLE. I know this is a very frustrating situation, and we have had candidates in the past who have been in a similar situation. Hopefully that helps. I have forgotten to mention that I have already finished USMLE and OET. Oh, that's great. So again, as I said, we'll have to take a look into what is your primary role. Are you a GP or are you an anesthesiologist? In the US, you cannot be both. That's not an option. You have to pick based on your credentials, based on what you're focused on. Where in Germany are you working? Are you in an academic place? These are many things that come into role. But basically, you can get our help, talk to us. But if you don't want to, if you want to proceed on your own, then you would figure out, are you a GP, are you an anesthesiologist? Based on that, you can approach your next steps, which might involve applying for a fellowship or directly as a consultant position. All right, so we might be able to take a couple more questions and then I think we'll call it a day. The next question is from Dr. Age that says, for non-academic hospitals for anesthesia in the USA, is it possible to get hired only with FRCPC certification, or is US board certification by ABM mandatory? I'm already working as staff in Canada now. For non-academic hospitals, let me think. I think you should be okay. I think you should be able to find a job and secure a license. There is a possibility that some states may be different, but to my knowledge, for the most part, if you have done your residency in anesthesia in Canada, I think you should be fine. I have USA work authorization. Again, that's great. You have USA work authorization, but I don't think that's an important step you need or you don't need. If you find a position, then I think you should be okay. So you now say you're an IMG and did residency not in USA or Canada. Okay. So you did not do your residency in USA or Canada, but you do have an FRCPC. I need to know how you got your FRCPC. What is your country of training? So there is a lot of things that might play a factor. But I think, in spite of that, I think it might be a lot more straightforward. I think. Again, I have to take a deep look. If you're interested, you're more than welcome to speak to us, and we'll be happy to take a deep dive and tell you exactly how to go about your situation. But if you want to do it on your own, then you can explore your jobs. But we'll be more than happy to work with you. All right, so we'll take one last question and go from there. I would like to ask if PER pathway is worth for IMG with internal medicine specialty and research experience. We just saw a candidate who went through PER and then was not given a position. So, for those reasons, I'm very hesitant to recommend PER unless you belong to certain specific countries where the chance of PR can be high and then finding a position. So the way I think about any candidate when they ask me for PER is the PER part is fine. Okay. It's a gamble. You put in a lot of money. You could go through, you could not go through. But the way I assess the candidate is if they, let's say they become successful with PER, the next step is can they find a position that is appropriate for them? If the answer in my mind is yes, then I say go for PER. If the answer is no, I would not invest all that money and time in PER. It's a big gamble. You're taking a lot of risks. This is my opinion. Again, ultimately what you do is your wish. But this is what I honestly think because to me, when I speak to each of you, I want you all to succeed. That's my goal here. So that's the way I think about it, and hopefully that helps. And I have to thank you all so much for joining today. Many of you joined live, asked questions, many of you did not, and that's fine. When I say did not, you asked me on text. Oh, actually, thanks for reminding. Okay. Now, for a special offer for those of you for being on the call, if you want to take advantage of the bookings we have, you can use a discount code that I've texted called thank you 24, all capitals, and that's going to give you a discount when you do your booking with us. And this is a thank you from our team for you joining live on the session and interacting and asking questions. So if you do book an appointment, I look forward to talking to you one on one and then guide you with your career. And thank you for being here. I wish you all the very, very best in your career. And for those of you applying for residency, make sure you go with a really strong application, especially your personal statement, letter of recommendations, and make sure you fill all the elements in the CV. Take care, stay safe. I'll talk to you soon.